What's up? What's up? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Tuesday. And it could be a terrible Tuesday. It could. But we're going to make it a terrific one, guys. Coach Kyle Evans out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Maps coach, bold coach, all the things. And it has been a week. Lordy, lordy, lordy. Guys, we got some stuff to talk about. I've got so many thoughts, so many ideas on what to talk about today. So we'll see what we get through. Man, it's been an interesting week. I told you guys last week that I had a particularly challenging week last week, and that's okay. They happen. And that week was rewarded with a very fascinating travel schedule the last 48 hours, and life happens. What do we do when life happens? It's going to show up. And one of the things that I was thinking about, this morning, reflecting on the past shenanigans of the last 7 days or so, 8 days. And I was thinking about expectation and our expectations and how we see things going. Unfortunately, I was not able to do the show yesterday because I just did not have the capacity due to all the things that were transpiring in the moment and catching up and traveling. And when I say expectation, I mean, there's a lot of times, guys, that we have an idea, a roadmap, a plan, a projection, a vision of what we think things should be like or the way things should work. And if your life is anything like mine, more often than not, it does not work out that way. It doesn't. And that's okay. How are you able to pivot? How are you able to change? How are you able to handle your mind when it does not go the picture perfect way that you had in your brain? Do you give up? Do you get down? Do you get in a mood? Do you get angry? Do you get sad? Or do you do all that and then ask, okay, what now? I ended up in a different airport landing where I was not supposed to land, much later than I was supposed to, very little sleep, and then right into the bold room, and then right into an interesting travel schedule again, where, it ended up with team low sleep today. And yet here we are. And when it was first starting to happen, reminder, I was coming in from a very hard week and then into this tough moment. And guys, I got to tell you, I was less than pleased when it started happening. And I did what I tell you guys that you should do. I worked on reframing my mind and grounding myself in the moment. And I was talking to a coaching client of mine, and I said, you know what? All this stuff's going on, and it is what it is. I am grateful to have, and this is what I messaged to work on my reframing, some affirmations. I said, and I went to gratitude because it's one of the highest forms of energy. I said, I'm grateful to have the energy and ability to sprint through the airport. I'm grateful to have the money to book backup flights. I'm grateful for a ride in the morning. I'm grateful for charge devices. I'm grateful that I'll make it there at all. I'm grateful I'm proficient at travel and book stuff in advance, so I'm not in the 600-person customer service line right now. Now, if you think that those magic words, that little 30-second, 2-minute gratitude exercise made everything hunky-dory, you would be incorrect. It didn't. The situation was still the situation. The challenges were still there. And yet, my energy and my attitude towards the challenges, towards the opportunities, began to change. It didn't happen immediately. And it wasn't a 0 to 60 miles an hour thing. It wasn't a light switch that then I was just floating through the airport on unicorn dust and rainbows. No. But I began to elevate my mood and elevate my energy and change the snowball from going down one way to the other, guys. Things are going to happen. How are we going to respond when they do? Things are not going to always go, and more often than not, go to the expectation that we have in our mind. And that's okay. Our firm grasp, our firm idea that it has to go a certain way or else it's bad is one of the things that gets us in trouble. Because here's the truth is, I was in challenging circumstances. And because of that, I got to grow a little stronger. I got to practice gratitude. I got to actually practice the things that I talk about. I got to go and hang out with awesome people in Maine and have a great session in Bold with all of them. Did it work out the way we wanted? No, but did it work out awesome? Yeah. How can we take that mindset and start to implement it into our days this week? One of the things that we were talking about in the bold room and I wanted to spend some time on today because I think it's super relevant, especially around this topic and idea of expectation, is how to appropriately set up our lead generation calendar. So there's a bunch of different ways out there, guys. Just like you've heard, there's a bunch of different ways to skin a cat. There's a bunch of different ways to lead generate. And that's one of the beautiful things about this business is that you can grow it however you see fit. Go find your specific kind of seasoning that you like and go make it happen. However, if you're up for an idea or a way, an option that you can do it, listen up. Here's an idea. One of the things that I see a lot of is people, they don't know how to appropriately manage their time. I think that's a pretty fair statement. That's one of the main things that a lot of us struggle with is time management, aka self-management. But specifically around lead generation, I want to give you an option or a play that you can run. And it's setting up your morning, in my opinion, for success. Now, some people spread and change their lead generation by the day. I like to do it by the morning and by the hour segment. So what do I mean by that? I mean from around 9 to 11 I'm lead generating. Now, what do I mean by lead generating? I mean seeking new business, seeking unmets, seeking new conversations. This may look like for sale by owners. This may look like expireds, withdrawals. This may look like door knocking. This may look like a multitude of different things to get new people into my database, into my system. Here's the caveat. Some of us have been in this game a while and have earned the right to a robust database that they no longer have to lead generate for. It supports their goals. It supports the business that they desire. They have enough people properly executed on smart plans. The majority of us do not have that yet. And that's okay because we're going to spend intentional time in the morning focused on the generating of new business. It's different than the next segment that I do from 11 to 12 called lead follow up. Follow up is the continuation of the conversation with a Met. This might be talking to people in your pipeline, your A's, B's, and C's, the people who are hot, lukewarm, and cold. This may be continuing up with files that are currently working or listings that you currently have or people who are coming to the market soon. That's when that time would go in this ideal schedule that I've used. From 12 to 1, I'm at this point usually a little, let's just call it what it is, a little tired, right? At this point, I've generated and had conversations with new people. I've had to be on my stuff, right? My brain's been working. I've been handling objections and offering conversation models. And so I might be a little tired now. So from 12 to 1, I need something to fill my cup back up. Guys, at that point, I'm going to be leaning into database specific conversations, way more relational conversations, because I find, and you may as well in your experience, that talking to people who I already know, like, and trust relationally tends to fill my cup. It tends to raise my energy level up a bit. Now, if that's you, you may want to give this a try. So, to bring that back to your attention, 9 to 11, lead generating for new business, 11 to 12, following up with current business, 12 to 1, database, filling my cup back up. Now, the question is, well, when do you go on appointments? Me, asterisk, not everybody, not the rule, just an option on how to do it. I think that appointments are best served in the afternoon. And what I do is make appointment blocks depending on what I have that day. My appointment blocks tend to look like appointment block from 2 to 4 and 4 to 6, 2 to 4 and 4 to 6. Now, some of you might be like, dang, Kyle, you're going on long appointments, 2 hours, gross. No, fool. Guys, we got to drive to the appointments. Some of you guys don't book enough travel time in between appointments, and that gets you stuck. We've got to prepare for those appointments. So, all of that falls in that 2 hour block. My appointments generally last around 45 minutes to an hour. So, that gives me ample time to get my stuff together, to get to the place on time, ladies and gentlemen, and execute the appointment. And then if I have another one, move to the next one. So a question was raised in the room. Well, Kyle, if you lead generate in the morning and you do not have an appointment for those blocks, what do you do? There are two options. Option number un. You are on goal or ahead of goal. If you are there in that appointment block, you've earned the right to take off the rest of the day or go do something fun or do something relational or go do something for you or take care of some personal business or do some errands or chores. You've earned the right to that. Congratulations. Proud of you. Mean it. Good job. If you are like the majority of the industry right now and you are not on goal or behind of goal, you have earned the right again to more lead generation. Love you, mean it, and you did. You earn the right to more lead generation. So your day should be full. Now, that secondary block of lead generation can look very different depending on your goals and where your business is that day. So, in a world, let's say, where you had no appointments, it might look like, hey, lead generation 9 to 11, lead follow up 11 to 12, database 12 to 1, take a little break, eat some lunch, whatever you got to do. And then 2 to 4, I don't have an appointment. So, I might do some social media, some more database, maybe changing the hours in which I lead generate to expired, withdrawals, and for sale by owners. I might door knock in that block. Whatever it is, our goal, our idea is to get into the habit and the rhythm of working a calendar continuously because that's going to build that muscle memory. It's going to build that strength. It's going to build that mindset that, hey, I'm working from X hour to X hour each day. This is just an option for you guys, something to consider. Now, to take this to the next level, when we're talking about the lead generation, even the follow up, even the database touches, preparing your lists the day in advance is a good habit or very early in the morning. Because what some people struggle with is they don't know who they're going to talk to going into those time blocks. And because they don't know who they're going to talk to, they end up wasting time, are falling into call bias, or just not utilizing their intentionality and their energy properly. Or they get on the Facebooks and the tickety talkies, and next thing you know, they're 17 videos deep about conspiracy theories, and they haven't done anything yet that day. You know who you are. We've got to be more intentional with our time. So that is an option. That is a way that you can work that. Now, roping it all back together with how we started this conversation on expectation, the reason I have the appointment block open is because the day does not always go the way you want the day to go. And if I have already segmented space on my calendar from 2 to 4 and 4 to 6, if life shows up, let's say in the morning, a kid gets sick, your tire's out, you have to go to the doctor. We followed the system of erasing and replacing. You already have pre programmed that slot from 2 to 4 in your calendar that is open. And if you don't have an appointment, and let's say you had to go to the doctor in the morning, you just shift that lead generation block from 9 to 11 into that 2 to 4 slot. One of the reasons this works so effectively is because it takes some of the decision fatigue out of things. You already have it pre-programmed, ready to go. You don't even have to think about it. Hey, life showed up. This happens. I've got to do this, Kyle, right now. There's an appraiser beating down the door. There's something title just called, and the whole deal is going to fall apart. That's okay. Take care of it because you've already pre-programmed that time block from 2 to 4. You know that you are still going to honor your business and talk to the amount of people you're going to talk to. It's just going to be at a different time. All of this is great. And a block doesn't work if you don't block it. Again, some of you guys are just putting a calendar square out there and calling it a day. We got to actually defend and block and protect and guard and honor the time that we make. So I trust this was helpful, guys. I trust that you guys are starting to think about some of this stuff, man. And if this didn't help you at all, thanks for coming and listening to me anyway. It's a joy to have you. So, guys, when life doesn't show up the exact way you want it, is it because you had too stringent of an expectation? Sometimes we just got to roll with the flow, guys. Our ability to, like Bruce Lee says, be like water is one of the things that's going to accelerate us to the success in personal life and in business. And then the ability to run the calendar is going to drive home those opportunities. It's going to drive home those skill sets. It's going to let you do the things that you need to do when you need to do them. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the internet, happy Tuesday to you. Let's go make some calls. Let's go shake some hands. Let's go kiss some babies today. Let's go step outside of our comfort zone and let's have a good one. Let's have a day today. All right, guys, I will see you Wednesday morning, bright and early. Cannot wait. Until then, go make it a great one.